Okay, here we go with another unedited Mumblefest. This is how I put together my Brussels sprout gun, which my wife said I'm not allowed to buy because they're too expensive, so I said I'll only shoot the bitter ones, which is all of them. So there's the barrel. It's like 36 inches long, a little long, but I have lots of velocity coming out of the end of it. There's where you drop stuff in to shoot. It'll actually shoot dead potatoes. I think this is 1 inch ID inch and a quarter tube. There's the bolt, because it's bolt action. You can find all kinds of air-fired cannons or whatever you want to call them on YouTube. So I decided to make mine different. So it's bolt action. This fits up in there. This goes inside there. There's an O-ring there to seal this off. This rubber ring seals against the tube, which is sharpened, and these blades are sharpened right there. So you don't want to get your carrot in there when you load it. This tube holds a piston, and it sits about there. This goes behind it just as a shock absorber. It's filled up so there's less air to vent, which I'll explain in a minute. This is the valve to turn it to pressurize the chamber. So it comes through, it pushes this piston forward to seal on the back of the bolt. So when you load air in it, it shoves this all the way to the front. It cuts off whatever excess you don't need as a projectile. And then the air flows down into this tank, which is from a paintball gun. I cut the tube off and then threaded the end. So the whole idea is, when this is about there, if you vent the air in the back after it's charged, the pressure in here, in the tank, will come up, shove this piston back, open this hollow tube, and let the air flow through to the projectile. The valving, this is the end stop. I put 6 bolts in it because I really don't want to eat it if something goes wrong. It's a little overkill. There's a valve to charge the pressure gauge, and this actually is a trigger. And as soon as you press that, it vents the air from the back of the chamber and lets that piston slam backwards. I needed to do some work on the fittings. I didn't have any 1/4 inch pipe thread nipples, so this I found in my toolbox. I must have been desperate sometime in the past to weld them together. And this one could be shortened as well. So there's the original plans. Confusion 359, that's my software program. Anyway, there's my original drawing. I actually cut out a piece of this to make these blades. There's the gap. That I couldn't put that slot in for the bolt because it would leak air out, so I had to change that idea around. And the piston is positioned just a little bit further back. And the bumper stop, when everything's slid back, I have a little extra room, which is okay because I filled it up with rubber. And the tank was going to be facing forward, but I decided to send it to the back so that it will balance the gun a little, because it's nose heavy at the moment. It's going to take about 130 psi, which is what my air compressor puts out. I have about 100 feet of hose if I need to go all the way down to feed the geese in the lake, so they don't grease my front yard when they get hungry. I believe there's about, with the diameter of this surface area, I believe I'm going to have about 150 pounds force pushing forward to cut whatever I need to cut and seal the barrel. The back piston has a bigger surface area than what's applied to the front. So when you do vent that, this O-ring, I needed that O-ring. I tried it without it, wouldn't do anything. It has a bigger surface area by the difference in diameter. So should you vent the back, it starts flying back from the pressure in the tank. I believe there's probably 200 pounds force on going backwards on that piston. I don't know how. I know when you fire it makes a pretty big noise. So that's pretty well it. I'm going to make another video showing it in action. Once I get it all back together, I'm going to make a slight modification on this part. I have a collar. Oh, there's an O-ring there. I have a collar that sits on there to keep this thing aligned in the bore, and it just slips on the back. So I'm going to cut this down in my lathe and put a step in it, and I'm going to make a collar with a slightly smaller ID, so when it goes on there it can't go further forward. I'm not sure whether it'll try to. I'll show you a picture of it. This is the one I have right now. So I'm just going to make this inner diameter a little bit smaller. I don't need to step on it. I'm not sure why it's there. It might have been something I had laying around. Anyway, that's about it. Talk to you later. Bye.